Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna be spilling the beans on my experience going to the People's Court. For those of you who don't know, I had 2 suits last year, lawsuits, and one of them was on the People's Court. The other one, I'm gonna make a separate video about that, and I'm gonna delve into why I didn't make videos as much as I wanted to last year. And it'll be in that. But today we're going to talk about my experience on the People's Court, what happened, all that good fun stuff. While we're doing that, it's going to kind of be like a slash review. I might put my in-depth thoughts. It shouldn't be longer than a minute. But one of my goals for this year is to, you know, try more things, expand my palate. And I love cheesecake. So I love chocolate on top of that. So I said I wanted to try all of the cheesecakes at the Cheesecake Factory. And I have to try all the chocolate. Like anything chocolate, I have to try it. So today we have the Snickers. This is Snickers. Sorry, I will put it on the plate and all that, but we're not making dirty dishes around here. But let's get started. So, I think it was April of 2022, you know, I started cosmetology school. That's another reason why I haven't posted as much. But I started cosmetology school in April. I transferred cosmetology schools. And I was driving from my cosmetology school. I lived close to it. And when I was coming from it, I was coming home. Now, this intersection is very busy. And if you can see in the diagram, it's like 3 lanes of traffic to the point where there's a divider. So it's a busy intersection. And the reason it's busy is because it's the split between Indiana and Illinois. I'm coming from Indiana to Illinois, and I was getting off the expressway, and this is why I don't like the left turns on this. So this is not the type of street where, you know, you can make a right turn on red. No, it's signs saying do not turn on red because it's that busy of an intersection, and it's lights all around. It's lights. So I'm turning, and you know, I'm getting out of class, coming home excited to see my babies and be done from a long day. Turning, and boom. No, well, I'm turning and I'm the last car in the lane, okay? Now the reason I don't like the left turns is because I feel like the lights be too quick and people don't always pay attention. And you have to pay attention if you're making a right turn over there. You have to pay, even though your light might be, you have a green arrow to go, you always still want to check because it's one last car that's turning. That was the case with me. I was that kind of like the last car, and I was making my turn, and my light, it was green when I went in, yellow coming out, and when I was coming out, I saw I was gonna be in the middle lane, and this is a 3-laner, so I was gonna be in this lane. And my peripheral, I see a car getting close, and it was getting like too close. I'm that driver, if I feel like you're getting too close or like you swerving too much into my lane, I'm kind of beep beep, you getting a little too close to me. She's coming, and the car is coming. Now that's a 2 turning left. So I'm making my turn from my 2 turning left. They're making their right turn of the 2 lanes into it. So I see this car coming, and I'm in the center lane. So I'm honking my horn, beep beep, you're getting too close. She's still coming. So I jump in the left lane because there's nobody turning with me. Still coming. I'm honking the horn. I'm like, if I slow down, she was going to hit me regardless because the way the car, she was right here. We were side to side. So even if this is me and I slow down, she was still going to hit, you know, some part of the car. So I'm like, beep, 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 beep. Bam. Knocked me into the divider. And I'm like, oh, God. Because where I live, I ain't gonna lie, I have friends who don't have car insurance. And the type of car she had, I was like, God, please let her have insurance. I'm like, okay, I ain't gonna be mad because That's what I call it, accidents. It happens. I get her information, go by my merry way. The next day when I go to file the claim, I get an email that she filed the claim against me with my insurance. And I'm like, what the heck? So all this time, I'm going back and forth with my insurance. Like, she's at fault. The insurance adjuster, I was like, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like she filed the claim because she knew somebody at my insurance company and she was trying to have them help her to say it was my fault and get her car fixed. And so, because my insurance adjuster was like, oh, well, it's typically when those accidents happen, it's always the person who's making the left turn fault, but we're gonna investigate it. And I said, how was it? I had the green arrow, so how was it my fault? I was like, the police report is even kind of showing that it's corroborating my story. She's like, well, nobody got a ticket. So anyway, went back and forth with her for a few months. And then my insurance was like, I still have to pay my deductible out of pocket. And I kind of was like, you know, that's not fair. I'm not about to come out of my pocket because I want to go through her insurance. Tried going through her insurance. She didn't have any. And I was like, wow, just wow. So I couldn't go through mine. And then my insurance company was telling me that she didn't have, because she didn't have like collision insurance, they were gonna pay for hers. And I was like, what? You gonna fully pay for her you know, repairs but not mine? How much? Make it make sense. But fast forward to, I got sick of my insurance company, and what they quoted me, my deductible was gonna be more than what they were gonna pay. And I was like, no, I'm not paying for this. Like, I don't feel like I'm at fault. So I sat and thought about it, and I was like, you know, when I looked at her, I thought she was a teenager, like 16, 17. But then when I looked at the police report, she was the same age as me. So I said, let me see if she'd be willing to go to the People's Court, because it's not, you know, they'll cover it. So the cool thing about the People's Court is they will pay for the judgment. You just can't further pursue the case, you know, out of court. They'll fly you to Connecticut, New York, and then drive you to the court in Connecticut, pay for your room, food, car service, flight, and you get like a fee. They pay you to come on the show, and that's in addition to like whatever your judgment is. So I was like, let me see if she'd be willing to go, because she looked the same age as me, and I get it, girl. I'm not mad at you. I wouldn't have the money for no, like, somebody take me to regular court. So I was like, look, she might be down because she'll still get some money out of it too. People's Court hit me up like the next day, and I said, damn, okay, y'all really. Now the reason I was kind of shocked, because you know they get a lot of cases, and I would think now they would be really busy after COVID trying to you know, get people, because they told me they're not doing it remote no more, it's in person. So now at this point, this is in September, so they called me the next day when I was in Costco, because I live in Costco. They called me, I was with my cousin, said, hey, we filming next week, can you come? I said, oh, I have another court case, can I come like earlier in the week, maybe next week? They're like, oh, we only shoot once a week of 1 week every month. So I was like, oh crap, okay. Yeah. I just, you know, I was like, this would be enough practice for me for that case. So we ended up going, and the young lady, she agreed. Now the producers are so funny, you know, they like to ruffle feathers and get the people going when it comes to the drama. So the producer's calling me saying, you know, well, she said that she's gonna sue you because you were at fault and she's experiencing emotional distress. And I started laughing on the phone. I was like, y'all messy. So I was like, yeah, that was like, I was happy she agreed to do it. So the next week they flew us out. They kept us separated. That was one of the things I thought was so funny, because I guess they want to keep drama, like make it more salacious. they let you bring a guest. I brought my cousin. Told him she's my sister because she like a sister to me. Brought her with me and we went. It was so funny because all of us were nervous. When we first got there, they kept us separated from, you know, all the plaintiffs are in one room, all the defendants are in another room. And so everybody was exchanging like their stories. I'm not gonna lie, when I walked in that room, I just kind of sat down and kept to myself. That's just me, because I was nervous. I was trying to prepare for my case. I had sent them all my evidence like the night before. In the morning of, I sent her more evidence, and the producer was like, I thought you said you sent all this evidence. What is this? I said, this is just like more stuff to prove my case. I was like, the 3 documents I sent you is suitable, but if the judge started asking me more questions, she'll have the papers. I was like, I'm pretty sure like the ones I sent her is enough. The ones I had sent her was the police report and the denial of the girl insurance. So I was like, I'm pretty sure this is enough evidence. And I had sent the email showing that my insurance company ruled that she was at fault. Fast forward, the day of, you know, all the people in there. Now, my episode didn't air. And I think at this point they would already have aired it because the people before me and after me cases was aired. This woman's case, how she was in that episode was how she was backstage. This woman's case, she was a little more hype backstage. So I get it though, because once you get front, there's like 50 cameras in there, so you be like, you a little nervous. But backstage, one person was suing a neighbor over a fence. Oh yeah, that was her. She was in the room with us. The next one was, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know what island she's from, but her case was funny. Backstage, she was cracking us up. She was just like, you know, funny, cool. They had like snacks back there for us too, I'm gonna tell you. They had snacks and, you know, we didn't know anything about we didn't know the defendants or anything. So it was like, oh, okay, you know, a nice little sitting waiting area. Pizza, they had like, you know, they kept us fed. And it was so funny because every time you need to go to the bathroom, the producers or like staff would have to escort you because they didn't want you running into like the defendant or defendants running into the plaintiffs. And I guess they do that, you know, to make it more, for more drama on the show. Yo, first time seeing each other in a while. So we get I don't know if she was Haitian or, I can't remember if she's Jamaican. I forgot where she said she was from. But backstage, she was like, wow, child. But she was telling us that, you know, same thing if you watch that case. So she went up and they tried to keep like people from talking about the results of that case. So we just said, you know, have a good day. Now, my cousin is life of the party. So although I was more quiet, kept to myself, my cousin was talking to everybody, which I appreciated because I did not want people asking me about my case. Because their cases was more salacious and filled with drama. So, you know, I was like, I don't want to talk about mine because I don't know how to explain it, but they all had like man drama. This Snickers, it's really good. It's really good. It feels like it tastes like a Snickers bar. But it's light because of the cheesecake. It makes it kind of like, the nougat part is light, makes it light and fluffy. But yeah, so I was like, oh yeah, they asked, what's your, sitting here, yeah, and that man did da-da-da. What's your case about? And my cousin, she's like, oh, her, same thing, some man drama. Because we was like, they don't need to know. So fast forward, we get called. We were there for maybe 2-3 hours. We get called, and it was so, first of all, let me start saying Judge Milian is so adorable. But she is small, like she's 5 feet, 5'1". I was shocked she's smaller than me. But she looked real cute, always fly. We didn't get to meet her backstage or nothing, but my cousin had caught a glimpse of her. And she looked real cute, fly. Now, the courtroom is, of course, like a stage. So, it's not like an actual courtroom. It's not like an actual courtroom. It's a set. And so when you walk in, that scene where they're like, her husband and her are doing like the advice panel, you have to walk through there, and then you walk past the people and walk into the lobby. So the producers telling us what to say. When I tell you, I couldn't, normally you can hear what the guy, I can't remember his name, but Howie, I don't know if it's him or not, but you can normally hear the guy saying like what's happening. I heard it, but I couldn't make out what he was saying because I was like so focused on sitting down. First of all, I think they didn't air the episode because I barely was paying attention to the cameras. I literally sat, opened the door, looked at the door, and then when I got my papers, I looked at my papers for like 2 minutes before I looked at the camera. When we got in front of the judge, I felt bad for her. I'm not even gonna front, because when you hear her side, she was like, the reason, to backtrack, when after she hit me, I took pictures of like instantly of the accident, and I had took a picture of her car too, so I can show like where she was when she hit me, and she wouldn't get out of her car. I'm like, I just said, so she rolled her window down. I said, hey, do you want to pull into the gas station? So we weren't on this busy intersection. Pulled in, she like was parked back here and I'm parked over here. She wouldn't come further, so I just call the police and had them handle it. So she had explained to the judge that she was trying to turn from her lane when she should have been going into center lane. She was trying to turn into the far left lane that I kept honking at her like, hey, I'm over here, I can't go no more. She was trying to turn over there because she needs to go to the Walmart that's in that lane. And then me, I just explained to the judge that I just said Illinois state law says you have to get in the right lane closest to you when you're making a turn, or the lane closest to you when you're making the right turn. She didn't do that, but that was like what I should have said. But I told the judge I don't know. She just kept coming when it's like several signs. I'm like, I'm just assuming, you know, she ran it, not seeing I was coming. And the judge asked her, why did she think I was at fault? And she said, honestly, I don't know. And my face in that exact moment she said that was, because I was like, why are we here? No, I mean, I knew why we was there, but I'm like, why would you file a claim with my insurance then? She had said she didn't remember a lot of that night, and the judge was like, okay. She's like, well, in that case, I'm gonna have to rule in, you know, her favor, because she's like, her story's making more sense. So at the end, closing out, I was listening to what she was saying to like the dude at the end who asked you the questions, and he said, well, if you knew you were at fault, why didn't you just pay her? They were like, we've never had somebody admit fault on, you know, come here and admit fault. And she was like, I didn't know she was gonna do all this. Like, I just got the call last week. And she was like, and I know the producers said something to her that I didn't say. So I realized they be lying to egg on some stuff. Cause I was like, I didn't say that. And she's like, and I didn't get out the car because I have anxiety, she said, and I'm just going through a lot, so I was scared. And in that moment, I felt bad. Like, even though I had won, I was like, it didn't feel like no victory. It was like, oh, I felt bad that she was going through stuff, but I was still glad I got my car fixed. Oh, that was another thing. I started having a coughing fit. I think that's why they didn't air it. I had a coughing fit at the beginning, and the case was so short. I was like, but they were really nice. Staff, the experience, people really sweet. And I think it's worth it, you know. If you have a traffic case or something, I would take it on to the people's court. Judge Milian was fair. And as long as you got your evidence, you should be okay. Ended up getting a free trip to, I'd never been to Connecticut too, that's another thing. So I got a free trip to New York and Connecticut. Was chauffeured around to and from hotel, and it was a great experience. So that is how I was on the people's court, but that episode did not air. If they ever air it, I'll do like a review, because I don't even remember how they would edit it, and I don't remember how it was like. I just remember I was scared, and she was scared. Oh, that's another thing I should add. I text her. I had her phone number from the police report, and I just texted her and said, hey. Look, I was like, I can't say her name, but hey girl, this is Taylor. How are you? Or I said, I hope you're doing well. I was like, you know, thank you so much for agreeing to come on the show. And I hope you have a safe flight back home. And she texted back the next morning, was like, thanks, I hope you did as well. But I was like, that just kind of, that's another reason I think they weren't on our episode. We was not like rude or disrespectful young ladies. We was like nervous. You could tell we was nervous and kind young ladies. And we were like a normal court case. It wouldn't have been more salacious. So I'm like, maybe if they run out of material, they might air it. Because it's like, it's still decent. But I highly doubt they're going to edit and air that one. But yes, that was my experience on the People's Court. Well worth it. And I'm glad, you know, I got my car fixed. That's all that mattered. But yeah.